Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Kathy at Attic Treasures, etc. And I'm really excited to announce that I have 10 brand new journals in my Etsy shop now. And I have never done a mask making project before, so I thought I'd give it a try. And I have to tell you, it was so much fun and I really love the results. So each of the 10 journals has some similar some elements in common, but each journal is unique all by itself. So I'm just going to go through and show you the cover of each one, and then I'll do a flip through of one of them. I'm calling this the Victorian Cottage collection, and each of them will have its own individual name, and all of that information will be in the description for each journal in my Etsy shop, which is linked down below. So let's get started. So here's one. The covers are all made out of wallpaper. They're 9 by 6. They have 2 signatures and 80 pages each. They have buttons on the back. One of them has a lot of buttons on the back, and they all have a tassel, and most of them have a little charm either on the front or on the spine or both. Plus a little faux book plate here. Some of them have real book plates. They all have some sort of corner embellishments on them. And then, I don't know if I mentioned this, but the covers are all made out of different wallpaper. So like I said, each one is similar in its design, but each one is unique. So here's the first one. It's kind of a pink and taupe color. And then we have this one that is greens and pinks and purples, and I hope the colors are coming across for you. They all have different kinds of closures too. Like for instance, this one has a frog closure, so it opens and closes like that with this little frog closure. Some of them have simple ties, some of them have buckles. This one has a tie, and again it has buttons on the spine with a tassel, little charm. They all have lots of lace. These are all vintage hand crocheted doilies. This one has corner protectors on it, front and back, and this one is kind of a cream with little rosebuds on it and a taupe tie. Then we have this one that's more of a white background with pink and purple flowers on it. This pretty button medallion here, some vintage lace, crocheted doilies, more buttons on the spine. And this one has sari silk that is completely removable and just wraps around and ties. So this one has a beautiful buckle closure and some corner embellishments. This one has they almost look like, well, they kind of have the shape of lilacs, but I'm not sure I've ever seen lilacs that color. But they're really pretty flowers. And this little charm, oh, I think I made this one on camera. I do have a video that I'll link at the end that shows how I made the cover for this one. And the covers were all made in similar ways. And then these vintage buttons on the back, can you see that? They're really pretty. These ones are metal. And then this one has a lace tie that goes around a lace ribbon, and then this cute little charm that's like from an earring. This one has pink with pink and purple flowers on it, but again, each one of these wallpapers are different. None of these are the same from journal to journal. The little buttons on the spine. This one is greens and with pink roses on it. Lots of vintage lace, some coffee dyed lace, buttons on the spine, little charm, little tassel, and a buckle closure with corner embellishments, metal ones. And this one also has a lace tie that wraps around. This one has gold and white buttons on the spine. And then this is a button and a key, and I covered this button with some with a picture from a magazine, sort of a red and I guess that's sort of a cream background, kind of an olivey green leaf on it with some vintage lace. And then this one is blue with pink flowers on it, and again the crochet doilies. This has a buckle closure, has corner embellishments or corner protectors on it. This one has a lot of buttons on the spine and a tassel And I think most of the tassels are removable from the little brad there. And then this is the only blue doily that I had, and I've been looking and waiting for the perfect journal to use it with, and this one happened to be it. Okay, and then the last one is this one has just slightly different color rosebuds on it, crochet doily, some kind of a shell type button on it, on the spine, with some red ribbon covered with some vintage lace. And the closure on this one is this little brass leaf that hooks around this hitch post here. So I can do the flip through on this one, but I wanted to show you a couple of the things that you're going to find inside so you know where they came from. So I have these really, really old books, and I used these in some of the collage. I'm not sure, I think this is Swedish, a very old Swedish Bible that was given to me by a good friend whose stepdad had passed away, and she found, and her mom found a bunch of old books that were kind of destined for the bin because they were old and falling apart. But she said, no, I want to give them to my friend. And now they save things for me. So this one is a book, I'm not sure what language it's in, maybe German. And it's almost like a book of records, or how to keep records or something like that. So I use both of these in collage. And then there are some note pieces, some full pages from this old Clabber Girl baking powder in there, as well as some pages out of this, but except none of them, I took the writing off from this 1959. It's like a little calendar with dates to remember in it. So there's that. And then some copies of pages from this 1894 Delineator magazine. So there are some originals and some copies in here. So let's do the flip through. So inside, like I said, they each have 2 signatures, and they also each have a flap on the inside cover on both the front and the back. Each one has a different lady here. If you can kind of see her there. Each one is different, and I tried to coordinate the dress and the color of the dress with the cover. So everything's all decorated. Inside there's a letter from me to whoever purchases the journal. There's some vintage music sheet that I've sealed with Mod Podge and did some collaging on. Put a pocket here. Here's a ticket with some collaging on it. And I copied some of the coffee dyed paper that I made and printed it on the back of these tickets. Then a little envelope in each one with a little tag and one of my little business cards. So you know how to reach me. Just scan the QR code. So there's tabs and sewing, some stamping. Now I have these photographs in here. These are photocopies of original photographs that I have. And so I copied them onto glossy photo paper. And there are several in here. I think there's 3 or 4 or 5. I don't know. I can't remember. We'll go through. And then some vellum, paper doily, some ruffles, more hand crocheted lace. This is from a vintage notebook. It's actually a kind of a ledger address book type thing. So some of these pieces in the journals will have some writing on it from the original person, because they're original. And then there's the center of the signatures in the first signature is from a book of hats by Victorian magazine. More tabs and sewing than the other part of that. Note paper, Dymo labeling, paper ruffles with some washi tape, all coffee dyed paper, and then this is a belly band with some Tim Holtz. And then I made these little bags. My husband and I have he just finished putting up a new tile backsplash. And so the 12 by 12 sheets of tile came with these separator sheets in between. And so I used them to make these little bags out of and put a lace pocket on the front. And here's another one of those photographs. And then some journal cards inside. Let's see. So here's a page out of that little book that I showed you for the dates. So that's an original, and then this is something that I printed. And then this is an original from 1947, Things to Do Today. So there's lots of vintage and new ephemera. Here's another one of those photographs. So that's why I'm calling this the Victorian Cottage collection, because that's what all of these things remind me of. So, and obviously, even though each of the 10 journals has the same photographs and journal cards and stuff in it, each belly band is different. It has different laces inside and different laces here. Each one has a different page from the book, a tag, and then another. These are held together with this little clip, another little photograph, and another page. This is out of a 1956 calendar, an old rent receipt, and then that Clabber Girl paper. The second signature, each one has a clock on it, and I covered the clock face with this, I don't know what you call it. It's like a little, it's glass. It's like a little glass, I forget what you call them now. But anyway, it sticks on there, and it has, you know, a thickness to it. So it looks like the clock face. I forget what they're called. They're like little bubbles. And then some coffee dyed airmail envelopes with some of that original vintage collaging on it. And then just an extra piece of paper in here that's also coffee dyed. Lots of writing space. I really wanted these journals to have lots and lots of writing space. And here's that vintage book here. This piece of vellum, I dyed some paper, just regular copy paper with beet juice that I made from powdered beets. Then I copied it onto, or printed it out onto this vellum. Some collaging and more tabs. Here we have a tag and another photograph. And more vintage dictionary page here. Here's the other side of that note, that ledger paper. Like I said, it does have some of the original handwriting on it. And then some coffee dyed paper here with lines on it. This is from the Delineator magazine. I did a book copy of it so that there's another picture on the other side. And then a little notepad here with different types of paper. And then this was a book of the language of flowers. So each one has a different page as the center of the signature from the language of flowers. This is a little paper clip with a dictionary definition on it. And inside, there's this little hidden piece of vintage note paper. And I reinforced the edge with some washi tape. This is handmade paper. It's pretty thick, actually. This was actually a bride from the 1930s who put this together. And this was the list of people and their addresses that she received gifts from. She had 6 wedding showers, and she tells what each person gave. So this was probably her thank you note record. So it's kind of interesting to read through it. More coffee dyed paper, and then that vellum. And then this last pocket contains a note card and a journal card in each one. Okay, so that is the journal. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you'll visit my Etsy shop when you get a chance. And if you did enjoy this, please give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate you being here. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and be sure to hit the notification bell. And I'm sorry it's been a while since I made a video, but I kind of haven't hardly seen the light of day since I started this project. So anyway, have a wonderful day, everybody. Happy crafting, and be sure to let the serendipity find you. Bye-bye, everybody.